For 48 years, the official record said the fair catch was the safest, simplest play in football. A receiver raises his arm, the whistle blows. The down is over. That's the story every broadcast repeats. It isn't the whole truth, because buried inside the NFL rulebook is a clause the league never explains on air, and coaches made sure you'd never learn that the same whistle can hand the receiving team a free, uncontested shot at a game-winning field goal. Someone has been sitting on this since before your grandfather watched football. Here's what nobody tells you when a punt sails into the open field. Back when the modern rulebook was rewritten in 1933, football still carried scars from its rugby roots. Defenses could bury a returner the instant he touched the ball, so the league let him signal safety with a raised hand. But the old rulebook kept something else too, a leftover called the free kick. Catch it clean and your team can attempt to kick a goal from that exact spot. No rush, no blockers in your face. Just a kicker, a holder, and 10 yards of empty grass the defense isn't allowed to cross until his foot hits the ball. That's the crack in the official story. You were taught the fair catch ends the play. It doesn't. It opens a door almost nobody walks through. For the better part of a century, coaches have treated this rule like it doesn't exist. Not because it's illegal, not because it's been repealed, but because it's never drilled, never gamed out, never mentioned in a broadcast graphic. Between 1976 and 2024, teams attempted it 9 times. 9. In 50 seasons of football across thousands of games, thousands of fair catches deep in opposing territory as a half-expired, 9 coaches even remembered they were allowed to try. And every single one of those 9 attempts for 48 straight years missed. The obvious explanation is that the range was the problem, that no kicker could reliably hit from 50 yards with a hang-back rush and a cold leg. That explanation stopped holding up around a decade ago. Kickers today make 55-yard field goals in bad weather on 3rd down without blinking. The leg was never the issue. Something else kept this rule buried, and it wasn't physics. What actually got buried was the teaching. Special teams install packages across the league. The practice week scripts every staff runs simply don't include it. It isn't tested. It isn't reviewed. It isn't shown to broadcast crews as a rules explainer graphic the way targeting or pass interference is, so announcers don't mention it, so fans never ask about it. So the silence just keeps renewing itself year after year, generation of coaches after generation of coaches. Nobody signed an order to hide this. Nobody had to. A rule that no one teaches might as well not exist, and that's the part they never admit on Sunday broadcasts. The league didn't erase the free kick from the book. It just let it die from neglect, and neglect is a quieter kind of cover-up than any memo could ever be. Every staff that never opened that page of the rulebook passed the same blind spot down to the next one, like a secret nobody realized they were keeping. Then, on December 19, 2024, one coaching staff broke the silence. Jim Harbaugh's Los Angeles Chargers found themselves with a fair catch at midfield as the first half expired. Instead of jogging to the sideline, they sent kicker Cameron Dicker onto the field for an untimed, uncontested try from 57 yards. It split the uprights. The longest successful fair catch kick in NFL history. The first make anyone had witnessed in 48 years. Not because the rule changed. Not because the league finally announced it. Because one staff actually read its own rule book cover to cover and every other team hadn't. Think about what that means. For 48 years, an entire league of professionals, men who study film for 18 hours a day, missed a legal 3-point opportunity sitting in plain text the whole time. Games were decided by field position and desperation heaves when a dead ball field goal attempt was sitting right there unused because nobody called it. Kickers who could have made history instead watched from the sideline. The gap wasn't talent. It was information the league never bothered to surface, and coaches never bothered to chase down. So here's the question nobody's answered yet. If one buried clause sat ignored for 48 years in a rulebook every team has access to in plain English, available to anyone who opens it, how many other rules are sitting in that same book right now, unused, unspoken, waiting for the next coach who actually reads to the last page?